Namaste everyone, this is Pooja. So it's been a while since I've made any informative video, so here I am. And so quickly let's get started. Our today's topic would be the things that you should learn before immigrating to Canada as a physiotherapist. It could be if you're immigrating to Canada as a student or a permanent resident. These are the few things that I felt if I had done ahead of time from my home country, it would have been helpful. So let's get started. Before we go ahead, if you haven't really subscribed my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell icon so whenever I make a new video, you would be notified. So yeah. Okay, so first things first, if you are planning to immigrate to Canada, you should know how to cook. Okay, you need to know how to cook at least for yourself. So take a few days if you want, before even let's say you're coming to Canada in a month, take a couple of days, learn a few simple things because that would help you save money initially, because here Canada you do get Indian food, especially if you are in Ontario. You do get not just Indian food, because it's a very multicultural country, you would get your food. It's just that initially those dollars would count because you're not earning, because you just came, you're not earning and you're spending. That becomes hard. So learn how to cook for yourself. It would help you. And if you are a really good cook, people would like to be your friends. They would really, I have some friends who are really good cook and everyone just loves them. So learn how to cook. And the second thing that I wanted to talk about on a serious note is learn how to drive. Okay, Canada does have public transport. Canada has buses, Canada has like a subway system. They have it, but not every area is so well connected. So there are many people who still who just drive to their work. And sooner or later, if you are in Canada, you would want to buy your own car, so it just makes your life easier. Instead of using public transport, use public transport because that helps the environment, but sometimes it's just not feasible. So driving is the only option. Now, if you are in your home country, let's say my home country is India, and if you're planning to come to Canada after 2 years or after a year, if you haven't taken your car driving license exam, go get it done. Because the earlier you had your license, let's say you have your license for 5 years before you come to Canada, once you take the insurance, that would reflect a difference. So if you are a new learner, you would have to pay a higher premium on the insurance, and if you are someone who has been driving since 5 years, then you'll have to pay a lower premium. Okay, and again in Canada, you have to give 3 different exams to get your basic driving license. Okay, so there is G1, then there is G2, and the final exam for a regular automobile, like a regular car, is the G exam. Okay, so you will have to give the G exam. So if you're a good driver, you will be able to give those exams easily once you come here, right? So G1, G2 is basically theory and practical, and G exam, there's a lot of practical exams. So please focus on your driving skills, because they would definitely come in handy when you come to Canada. So these are the 2 things. I think this is true for anyone who's planning to immigrate here. The other things, let's say you are a physiotherapist, you are immigrating to Canada, you haven't cleared the license exams yet. There are a couple of things you still can do. Let's say you're doing a diploma course in health performance. So your field is focusing more on sports and athletes and stuff like that. So what you can do is, if you are really interested, because many ask like what is the future of sports physiotherapy in Canada, definitely Canada is well known for its athletic population. So what you can do is you can learn aerobic exercise. You can become an aerobic, so there are certification courses for aerobic training, right? These courses what they'll do is they'll teach you different form of aerobic exercises. If you have a decent certification over here in Canada, you can work as a personal trainer. So based on your diploma, let's say you're doing your diploma, you would get 20 hours a week wherein you can work, right? So if you want, you can work as a personal trainer, and if you have a good certification with aerobic in aerobic training, it would be really helpful. So aerobic training is good. Again, only do these if you're really interested, because I've seen a few friends of mine, they have a bunch of certifications, but when they took it, They just wanted to collect those certifications. That's how it looks like, because they never used it, right? So don't waste your money. If you're not planning to do it, it's not compulsory to get your aerobic training course or your yoga certification and stuff like that. Only if you're really interested, this could be a good alternative till the time you finish and you clear your PCE exam, so that you can become a physiotherapist. So first, aerobic training. The second would be yoga certification. If you are really interested in doing yoga, you can be a yoga instructor and you can do and teach yoga. Basically, you have to teach yoga. So it's a whole different thing. Doing yoga, doing Surya Namaskar and teaching Surya Namaskar can be a whole different thing. Okay, I've tried to do it with my patients who want to know a flexibility routine, and I was like, you can do Surya Namaskar. It's a good routine. And it is so hard to teach them. So teaching is a totally different thing. So yoga instructor, you can be that. Even without being a physiotherapist, you can be a yoga instructor, but you need good certifications. I think you at least need 200 hours of education as a yoga instructor, and then you can work here in Canada. So if I find the details, I'll put all the details in there. But always when you go for any classes, see if they are well certified and what is the validity of the certification. Okay, so aerobic, yoga. The third thing is basic life support, like so CPR. As a healthcare professional, there would be many places they would ask you to give your BLS card or your CPR certification, right? So let's say you are working as a physical therapy assistant in a hospital. They'll definitely want you to have a basic life support card. So, but again, these cards are only valid for 2 years. So only take these cards when you are at the end, when you are almost sure that you're going in a month or 2 or 3, so that you can make good use of that card, right? So that's basic life support. And then there is kinesio taping. Now kinesio taping pretty much anyone can do. But I've seen a few of my seniors who because nowadays kinesio taping is really famous in India as well, but earlier when we were studying, it was just a new concept, so not many are known with the whole concept of how to use a kinesio tape. So if you don't really need a specific course for kinesio taping. This comes handy if someone is in pain and you want to just support that area with the tape, or you want to just enhance their performance by taping in the right direction. You can do those. So kinesio taping courses again would be helpful. You don't really need to go for a fancy course, just the basics, so that in case you need it. Usually we use it for ankles, knees, shoulder, elbow, the major joints, right? So these are the courses that you can do even without being a physiotherapist. Meanwhile, you are working for your license exam, but if you're working somewhere as an assistant, physiotherapy assistant or a personal trainer, these courses can come in handy. Now this is not an exhaustive list. There are many other things that you can do. If you are interested in those things, go ahead, give yourself think about it, think about your strengths. What can you do over and above physiotherapy? Are you good in cooking? Are you good in sports? Are you good in let's say dancing? Because you will have to wait for a few months at least before you clear your license exams to work as a physiotherapist. In the meanwhile, if you want to start working, you will need to have extra skills, and these are few of those. Okay, now let's say you were lucky and you cleared your physiotherapy exam, but you were stuck because you can't give your practical exams. The thing that happened with me. So I was able to clear the theory exams, but because of COVID, they are not taking our practical exams, and I'm just waiting till the time they are open enough and they can start the practical exams. So in the meanwhile, I can work as a resident physiotherapist. Now there are certain skills that come handy if you're a physiotherapist, licensed physiotherapist or a registered physiotherapist. These skills would include acupuncture. These skills would include McKenzie mobilization techniques. These skills would include pelvic floor training. There is spinal manipulation. Then there is TMJ mobilization. There is vertigo rehabilitation. There is concussion rehabilitation. There is dry needling. And these are just the basics. Okay, there are many other specific areas, but I just have come across these areas, right? Now, as a resident, there are certain things that I can't do, but I am hoping that once I clear my practical exams, I can really do more of pelvic floor, because I am really interested in women's health. I'm interested in pediatrics and women's health. So I've already worked as a pediatric physiotherapist. Now I want to work as more in the field of women's health. So I'm doing courses for pelvic health. The courses are really expensive. So if you do get like a good certification course in India or your home country, go for it. But you'll have to wait till the time you become a registered physiotherapist, because these activities are rostered activities. So these, because a pelvic floor, you can teach Kegels exercises and the basics you can teach, like, you know, what to do, what not to do, the stretching and cats and camel, the basic exercises you can. But you can't do an internal pelvic exam without being a registered physiotherapist and without rostering the activity. So let's say if I do an internal pelvic exam for a patient, once I'm registered, I will have to write it down. I have to roster the activity, meaning I have to let the College of Physiotherapists of Ontario know that on this date I performed a pelvic exam for this patient, because these are highly specialized activities. Same with acupuncture. So acupuncture, if you really like, dry needling and acupuncture pretty much the same in Canada. They consider both of these as rostered activities. So if you have good certification, physiotherapists in Canada do give acupuncture therapy to their clients. They can bill for acupuncture, and many clients expect you to know how to do it. I don't really know much about it, and I am actually not kind of interested, but if you are, go ahead. It is a good skill to have. Then TMJ mobilization. It is a lot in demand. Wherever I have applied for my job, I've seen people ask if you have any specialization in concussion, any specialization in TMJ mobilization, or any specialization in vertigo rehabilitation. So these are a few things that you can keep in mind. So if you are planning that this is what I want to do in my future, see if you get decent courses in your home country. So that would give you, when you are applying, because in Canada, I might have made people assume that getting a job is really easy, but that's not how it is. There is competition, because there are not, and again with COVID, the competition has just increased a lot. So people, your employers would see what extra skills other than your physiotherapy license you bring to the table. So skills like acupuncture or TMJ mobilization or vertigo rehabilitation, these things come in handy. Okay, and then there are millions and millions of options ahead. You can specialize in wound healing and stuff like that, but again, this is what I thought is important, and I thought I'd just share it with you guys. So that's it. If you have any questions, do leave it in the comment section, and I'll get back to you guys. Connect to me on Instagram, because it's easier for me to respond there. Because I can use the voice messaging system. It's really helpful. I don't have to type the whole message. So my Instagram ID is PT Movement Masters. I'll leave the details again in the section below, so you can go through them, and see you guys next time. Stay safe, take care.